and drop-off location.
Okay, so I gave both. It says that it's nearby, then it says it's loading the menu.
Download it directly to your device.
I don't think you can download it directly to the device. I asked you guys what you wanted to know about the Rabbit R1, which, spoiler, is one of the worst devices I've ever reviewed. You'll probably see why in my answers to your questions, and no, I didn't ask AI to answer them for me. Question 1, what does it do? Answer, not much well. The Rabbit R1 is a handheld AI device powered by a so-called large action model that's supposed to be capable of everything from voice search and making AI-generated images to live translations, music playback, and voice recordings with summaries. It can also sync with some third-party apps like Uber and Doordash to carry out demands on your behalf. That is, when it's working properly. Book me an Uber from 135 West 41st Street to Port Authority.
I'm unable to request an Uber ride without your current location. Can you please provide it?
The Rabbit can also identify objects with its camera vision feature, but your phone can do that faster. Which iPhone is this?
Based on the image, this appears to be the latest model of the iPhone.
Nope.
Likely the iPhone 13 or 14.
So the fact that the Rabbit R1 believes that the most recent iPhone, the newest model, is the iPhone 13 or the iPhone 14 when the 15 has been out for months is a problem in and of itself. Next question, how much is that? It's $199, which actually seems like a good bargain compared to similar products out now, like the Humane AI Pin. But it's just made of cheap plastic. If you ask me, this neon orange square design is reminiscent of an iPad Tamagotchi hybrid. Does it work with cell phone Bluetooth when not connected to Wi-Fi? The Rabbit R1 does sync to your phone via Bluetooth, but your phone needs to have Wi-Fi or LTE connectivity in order for the device to actually be able to answer your questions or look things up. That said, it does have a 4G LTE SIM card slot, so it's nice to know you can get connectivity without Wi-Fi. But you're likely just better off pairing this device with your phone in hotspot mode when you're on the go. Connecting to Wi-Fi is a bit of a chore the first time as you need to enter the password with a tiny keyboard, but at least the touchscreen works in this mode. Next up, is it a smartphone? Why would I carry another device around when my phone does it already? The R1 is not a phone, and when I set out to review it, I didn't expect it to be one. It can't make calls for me, it can't take photos, and it can't be used for messaging. Instead, it wants to be a companion device to your phone for completing certain tasks. And it wants to be able to do them faster, but that wasn't really the experience in my case. Generate an image of 4 golden retriever puppies playing at the beach and fetching a frisbee.
Got it. Please be patient while I'm generating your image.
One eternity later.
Your images of 4 golden retriever puppies playing at the beach have been successfully generated.
But it would be nice if this thing was able to at least email you things, like the Midjourney images you create. Ironically, it told me that it couldn't email me even though it has my email on file. Email that image to me.
I'm unable to send emails or perform email-related tasks. If you'd like to save the image, you can download it directly to your device.
I don't think you can download it directly to the device. Here's your next question. Is the AI able to have normal back and forth conversations? If so, does its personality evolve and adapt as it learns from the user? I'm not really sure who wants to sit and have a small talk with an AI device, but yes, it can continue on with topics without you needing to give it context every single time. So for example, I asked, who won the Yankees game last night? And I got the score. And when I asked, were there any home runs, Rabbit was smart enough to mention Volpe, Verdugo, and Stanton all going yard. The R1 hasn't really developed a personality in my time with it, but it certainly tries to be helpful and has a small sense of humor. Like it will say, taxi, when I'm trying to book an Uber. Can you get me an Uber to Port Authority?
Taxi.
Just to let me know. Here's the biggest question of all. How reliable is the action model? Can it order me a Big Mac? Can it get me an Uber without making mistakes? Let's try it out. Can you order me a Big Mac?
Here are some food options for you. Doordash may take a while to load on Rabbit OS and may not be available in all regions.
And what's happening now is that it's trying to query Doordash. There's not an official partnership between Rabbit and Doordash in this case, but they've trained their AI on their interface. So they go out on your behalf using your credentials that you give them when signing up for the device, and they're trying to go through. So you can see that McDonald's has popped up as one of the options, so that's definitely a good start. So if I want to select that, it says that it's nearby. Then it says it's loading the menu. And this part really gets me because it shouldn't take that long to see what the menu is On your phone, this would take much less time. In fact, I'd already have a bunch of stuff in my cart. So there's the fries, not what I asked for. You can see that I am getting menu options now, and I can scroll through them. And one of them here, like I can order a Big Mac if I want. So if I select that, let's see if I'm actually able to order. So I've selected this. You see that the plus button has shown up, and then I keep scrolling down, and then I can go to my cart. I put 2 in there, so we'll see how that works. Loading my cart right now in the background. Again, this just takes way too long to make it useful. And okay, so I actually do have my total order with the ability to check out. I'm not gonna order it, but let's see what happens when I try. Calculating bill. Yeah, with this sort of delay, I just wouldn't even bother using this. But I could check out if I wanted to and pay. So it works, but just not fast enough. So how about ordering an Uber? Can you get me an Uber to Port Authority?
Taxi.
So there's that sense of humor.
Uber may take a while to load on RabbitOS.
So we get another
May not be
disclaimer.
Available in all regions. I'm unable to request an Uber ride without your current location. Can you please provide it?
I can, but I shouldn't have to because you should know where I am. 135 West 41st Street.
Arranging your ride now. Uber may take a while to load on RabbitOS. and may
Just
not
in
be
case you didn't
available
get
in
it the
all
first
regions.
time.
Apologies. I need both pickup and drop-off locations.
Okay, so I gave
Ride
both.
request.
Let me try again with the more specific instructions. Book me an Uber from 135 West 41st Street to Port Authority.
Arranging your ride now.
So now there's no excuse for not getting it right.
Uber may take a while to load on RabbitOS and may not be available in all regions.
Okay, so we actually have an option here. Confirm pickup, it is the address, and I can continue just by selecting here. Confirm the drop-off, yes, and
Apologies. There was an
there we
error
go.
with the Uber ride request. The service may be under maintenance.
which service? I don't think it's Uber. I think it's the Rabbit service that might be under maintenance. Now that you're suitably impressed, you might be wondering, doesn't Siri do this? To demonstrate Siri versus Rabbit R1, I actually conducted a head-to-head face-off, asking both the same questions that you could see on our TikTok. But what I found is that Siri is faster, but can't answer follow-up questions very well, or execute actions with third-party apps like Rabbit R1, at least not currently. We know that WWDC in June should bring a big update to Siri's AI abilities, so who knows? Siri might be able to do a lot of the things the R1 does before the end of the year. Talk about bad timing. Next question. Why is there a scrolling wheel? Like, didn't we invent swipe to scroll 20 years ago? That's a great question. The scrolling wheel is cute, but I feel like it's unnecessary. After all, this has a touchscreen, but I found that it only works in keyboard mode. Otherwise, there's a lot of scrolling up and down and backing out of menus. It's a throwback in a bad way, but at least the scrolling feels faster after a recent software update. Here's a quick one. Most anticipated gadget says who? This question is in response to a caption we used on a TikTok video. But yeah, in case you didn't know, these kinds of AI hardware products are really having a moment. The Rabbit R1 became available right on the tail of the Humane AI pin, which got terrible reviews with its hand projection interface. It also cost $6.99, not including a subscription fee. There was hope that the R1 would be a functional device at a fraction of the cost. The CEO built up a big community on Discord, and they apparently had 100,000 pre-orders. I'm guessing a lot of them may be returned. How is it? Worth it? Now, this is probably the most important question. Part of me didn't even want to give my Rabbit R1 review a rating because it feels so unfinished and broken. There are some pretty cool ideas behind the R1, but most of them are not executed well at all, and I ran into way too many bugs, errors, and inaccurate answers to recommend this AI gadget to anyone. Will the Rabbit R1 get better over time? For sure, and Rabbit promises all sorts of future upgrades like point of interest research, navigation, and a teach mode, so the R1 can learn more things. But I just don't see the R1 taking off because it's yet another device you need to carry around. So for most people, it's just not worth it. But let me know if you feel differently. I can also answer more of your questions in the comments. For my full Rabbit R1 review, make sure you go to tomsguide.com and be sure to follow us on all of our socials. For Tom's Guide, this is Mark Spoonhour.